Hi y'all, welcome to Petite Weaver Crafts episode 7. I'm recording here today on July 10th from Los Angeles. Thank you so much for joining me, you guys. So today I have a lot of stash, no finished objects, some works in progress, and a lot of spinning. Let's get started. So last weekend I went up to SF with some friends for the 4th of July weekend, and I actually got to stop by a local yarn shop there. It is kind of in the Mission District, I believe, and it's right off of a park, and the store is called Imagiknits. It's a super cute shop, and I got some local yarn for those guys. First up is by Aurora Yarns, and it's a custom hand-painted skein. This lovely tonal and speckled purple, and this is on their, I think it's just a basic sock base. It didn't actually give the fiber content on the tag, but it feels like a superwash merino nylon base. Yeah, I think I'm gonna pair this skein with these two other skeins that I got. How lovely would those three be together? Maybe a nice 3-color shawl out of these? Yeah. I really like purple as well. I've noticed that I've been gravitating towards them a lot more these days. Yeah, so that's the first skein. So here is the next item that I got. It is a skein of Twirl Yarns, and the name is Bosco Twirl. And Bosco is a churro merino ram cross, and this yarn is blended with Nick and Knack, the Cotswold twins, which is another type of sheep, and a llama. So yeah, it's a really lovely singles yarn in a kind of, I guess, chocolatey brown color. And I got 3 skeins, and that's about 500 yards. Since it's a singles, I'll probably make either a cowl or maybe a nice slouchy hat out of it. Yeah, it was a super lovely store, and I definitely want to go back again once I visit SF. So up next is some yarn that I mentioned that I ordered last week. It's my order from Material Culture Fiber Arts. First up is Mojave Sunrise. And this yarn I actually saw at the Griffin Dye Works retreat. It was on the raffle table, but I didn't win it, so I ended up going and purchasing a skein for myself. And this is on her Modern Era soft base, which is the Superwash Merino Nylon Tencel base. Yeah, super gorgeous. And then next I purchased a skein of Tangled. And it has this lovely lime green, hot pinks, and purples in it. Yes, I'm super excited to work with Tria's yarn. They're just so beautiful. I don't have plans for these guys yet. Maybe socks, maybe paired for another shawl. Actually, these two colors wouldn't look bad together either. Yeah, so I'm not sure yet, but I'm sure some pattern will inspire me soon. Okay. Last but not least for my stash this week, I also placed another Spoonflower order. So I've been following this lovely watercolor artist on Instagram for a while now. Her name is TangledPen on Instagram if you want to check her out. But she agreed to design me a custom print from some of her watercolor designs that I saw. So I'm going to Maui later this year for a friend's wedding, so I kind of wanted something that was a little bit more tropical themed. So she designed me this lovely fabric with plumerias and other Hawaiian local foliage. How gorgeous are these flowers? I think I'll make a Betty dress out of this. Not quite sure yet, but I love this fabric so much. Thank you so much, Jana, for designing this. And I'll also link to her Spoonflower shop so you guys can check out her fabric as well. She has the most amazing designs. Here is another one that I purchased. It is just like kind of a tonal blue graphic square design. And oh, I didn't mention the base. I purchased these on the Poly Crepe de Chine fabric from Spoonflower, so it's gonna have a lovely drape and it won't crease. And the last fabric that I picked up is some Kona cotton in this super fun sheep and spinning wheel fabric. I promised to make a project bag for my Spinning Guild's Tour de Fleece team, so I picked this super cute fabric to make the project bag out of. So that's it for my stash. Up next is some of my works in progress. So I thought I was going to finish my Talisman shawl by this week, and I'm almost there. All I need to do left is to bind it off, but I didn't quite get to it this week. I've been completely distracted by a new game on iOS and Android. If you haven't heard of it, it's Pokemon Go. It's destroying my life because I can't stop playing this stupid game. So I didn't actually get as much knitting on this as I had planned. And this shawl is the Talisman shawl by Helen Stewart of the Curious Handmade podcast. And this is part of her Shawl Society, which is a pattern subscription. And she actually just released her second pattern of the collection. And it's a triangle shaped shawl with some beading on it. And I don't think I will knit the second project because I don't particularly like triangle shaped shawls very much. And I kind of need to focus a little bit more on the millions of other whips that I have going. So I'm gonna step back from the second pattern. But I'm so close to being done with this first one. And it was a lovely knit, lots of stockinette with a little bit of texture detail. And it will have a slightly lace border with the picot edging on it. So hopefully I'll have this done by next week. So I did get a little bit more done on my rainbow socks. These are knit up with the Duran Dyeworks skein that I got from Vogue Knitting Live. The skein didn't have a colorway name, but look how lovely. I love the way the colors are kind of flashing in and out. And I knit these on my 00 Addy Turbo sock rockets, and I am doing just a plain vanilla sock with 56 stitches from toe up, and these will be shorty socks. Okay. Next is my Cozy Memories blanket. So last time I left you guys, I had just finished this lovely square by Material Culture Fiber Arts in her Super Bloom colorway. I added 2 more squares, and this square here was given to me by the lovely tweet of the Twisted Stitches podcast, and I started a third. So this will be block number 9 on row 6 of my blanket. So yeah, it gets a little bit warm since it is the summertime here, so I haven't been working on it as much as I would like. But hopefully I should still be able to get it done by the fall or the winter here. And then last but not least, I did get a little bit more cross stitching done on my Storytime sampler. I kind of filled in this little mirror on the armoire, or the fire, I think it's the fireplace, of my Sherlock Holmes block. So yeah, not a ton of work, but I really do enjoy some cross stitch every once in a while. It's a great summer project because you don't have a ton of stuff that's on your lap. Alrighty, that's it for my works in progress. Up next is spinning. So I've been doing a ton of spinning this week. This was the first week of the Tour de Fleece. And if you haven't heard of Tour de Fleece, it is a spinning challenge that is hosted on Ravelry. And the idea is that every day the cyclists race during the Tour de France, spinners will spin. And for this week, I got a little bit of a later start since I was in San Fran up until the 4th. I came home that night and then I started my Bikini braid by BeeMiceElf. And I actually finished all 4 ounces of singles. And the way I did these singles is I split the braid in half, and spun each half into a bobbin. And then either later today or early next week, I will chain ply each of these bobbins individually. And that will approximately get me 2 matching skeins of yarn. And these should be thin enough so that my chain ply will end up being a fingering weight yarn. And I haven't decided yet, but I will either make leg warmers or a pair of socks out of these. Yeah, the colors were gorgeous. I'm super excited to see how these look all plied up and everything. So up next for my tour de fleece spinning, I will be working on these super fluffy bats of alpaca. And you've seen these before. I did some sample skeins a little while back, so I will be now spinning up the majority of the fiber. So I got this alpaca fiber from my friend Jessie Love, which is a different Jessie than I mentioned last week, and the fiber is actually from a local farmer, and it is just the most gorgeous fawn beige color, and I'm really excited to see how this yarn turns out. Wish me luck. These bats are huge, and this isn't even a third of the fiber, so yeah, pretty excited. So yeah, for my spinning, I can get a little bit bored with natural colors, so I like to kind of alternate my projects with color and then natural color projects. The game plan is to kind of spin the alpaca for the next week, and then after that I will give myself a little bit of a break and work on my other BeeMiceElf braid that I got for Tour de Fleece, which is this lovely botanic colorway on her Polworth base. So for the home stretch, I will be working on some plain natural color Corriedale, and this roving was actually purchased from a very sweet local farmer. His name is Stewart. His website is SoCalWool.com. This is part of my sheep to sweater project challenge that I have for myself this year, and I've already spun up about 4 ounces of this lovely squishy white Corriedale, and I have another 12 ounces, so I just have to work on it a little bit at a time and then give myself a few breaks, because it is just natural white. And I don't know if I'll dye this yarn once it's finished. I really do like the natural color, and I think it'll detract from the wonderfulness that is a sheep to sweater project. So yeah, that's it for my Tour de Fleece projects. And yeah, that's it for me this week. Sorry you guys for such a short episode. I really got distracted this week by the release of Pokemon Go. But hopefully I'll have a little bit more for you guys next week. And as always, you can find my show notes at petiteweavercrafts.blogspot.com. I will also have the show notes below and on my Ravelry group. And you can search for the group. It's called Petite Weaver Crafts Podcast. That's it. Thank you so much, you guys, for joining me today. Bye. Baby girl, want some strawberries? Some strawberries? Yeah. Sit. Sit. Yeah. Yeah.